Hey everyone, Brent Peterson here from Talk Commerce. You know what really got me thinking about style? My kids. They looked at me one day and said, Dad, you just can't wear hoodies and conference t shirts anymore. They were right. As someone who's constantly meeting with e commerce leaders, speaking at conferences, and recording podcasts, I need to look sharp. But honestly, I hate shopping for clothes. That's where Taylor comes in and rescued me. Here's how it works. You rent clothes instead of buying them. I get my own personal stylist who curates my perfect outfits and sends them to me. I can even text them about upcoming events, whether it's a big client meeting or a conference keynote. Every month, I rent 5 to 7 pieces from quality brands that fit my style perfectly. I wear them for weeks, get compliments, then send them back in a prepaid envelope when I'm done. No commitment, no clutter. And here's what I love about renting. No decision fatigue, no cluttered closets, and I'm always trying some new styles I never would have picked myself. Plus, if you really love something, you can buy it at a discount. The best part, even my kids approve of my style. If you're tired of stressing out about what to wear, try renting from Taylor. Go to tailor.style. That's Taelor.style. And trust me, your future self will thank you. Welcome to this episode of Talk Commerce. Today I have Luca Borreani.
Hello, everybody.
Birani. Yeah, Luca, go ahead doing it. He's the co-founder of
Borreani.
Yeah. Sorry. He's the co-founder of ZipChat. But Luca, go ahead, do an introduction for yourself. Tell us your day-to-day role and one of your passions.
Absolutely. So I'm Luca Borreani. I'm the co-founder of ZipChat AI. I'm also serving as the CMO, so taking care of everything marketing. Thanks to AI, actually, today is a much easier job than when I used to have the same role in my previous company, where I just had to hire more people every time. I love doing sport. I love traveling. I'm Italian. Maybe you can find it out by my accent, but I mean, I've been living all over the world. Right now, I'm based in Dubai.
Yeah, that's great. And what brought you to Dubai? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, during university, actually, after my second master, with my business partner at the time, we were running affiliate marketing campaigns. You know, at that point in life, you're young, you're making some money, you work from your laptop. I mean, sounds like the dream lifestyle everybody was kind of looking for. We could literally live everywhere. Our main goal was actually to move to New York, but it was very complex, not being ourselves Americans. So yeah, we tested a few places. At the end of the day, Dubai was kind of close to Italy still, just a 5-6 hours flight. Very easy bureaucracy, good connection between Europe and Asia, so it just made sense at the time, and I didn't move back.
Wow, exciting. Good. All right. Well, so before we get into content, we're going to talk about AI agents and your chat. I'm going to tell you a joke. I do this thing called the Free Joke Project. I'm going to tell you a joke. You just give me a rating 8 through 13. So here we go. At the airport, my friend suggested we disguise ourselves as luggage. I said, let's not get carried away.
Nice. 11.
All right. Perfect. Great. So Luca, tell us, give us the 10,000-foot view of your past and how you got into what you're doing now.
Absolutely. So I've always been very ambitious. I've started reading self-help books, leadership books, what at the time were the gurus of the time books about, how to be successful in life when I was early in high school. So at some point, it just made sense for me to start doing something online. Was the easiest way while studying at university to make a living. I mean, some extra money, not a living at the time. So I started affiliate marketing with my best friend and partner at the time. Things moved quite fast, to be honest. After a few weeks, we were already super profitable. I mean, it was another game. It was another time. Not many competitors, I would say, especially in the Italian market. So things were quite simple. And we started from that. So at some point we said, okay, but if we are good at promoting other people's stuff, why don't we promote our own stuff? So we started e-commerce. We started running some drop shipping campaigns at the time. Super easy, drop shipping from AliExpress, nightmare with payment processors. Lots of complaints because shipping were never coming in the right time, stuff like that. So our idea was, okay, how can we solve this problem for all the growing drop shipping industry? And we started a company called Udroppy. Udroppy, we got some funding from a family office in Hong Kong. Then we went to Silicon Valley. We got humiliated by what was at the time our setup. So no VCs were interested in investing in us. So we kind of flipped the game. We added subscription. We flipped the company to US. We raised some funds from Sequoia Capital, from Jason Calacanis, and a couple of other interesting investors. Then after a few years, we were kind of tired of the business. We sold our shares. And in a period of, okay, what's going to be next? One of our previous customers, like a very big one, he also sold his e-commerce business, and he was starting playing with AI, and I mean solving what it was his own problem during his e-commerce period, and he needed co-founders, so we joined him, and yeah, the rest is history.
That's awesome. So now you're doing AI chat. So tell us a little bit give us the background on agents and what that means for a user.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to give you like, let's say, a background, we started as a simple generative AI chatbot. So people were giving an input and they were getting an output, basically a reply, product recommendation, or like, some information about, the policies of the stores. Was basically the phase one of pretty much every AI application out there. Then at some point, AI is much more than that. It's not just a reply, it's potentially an autonomous entity that can take action on your behalf or on behalf of the merchant. In our case, we are not doing the same thing Shopify is doing right now with OpenAI, allowing customers to get product inside ChatGPT recommendation and then going on behalf of the person buying these products for them, for example. But it's more on the merchant side. So allowing merchants to automate that kind of task or that kind of repetitive things that usually where they usually need the human, can be like support, customer support or customer success or whatever. So this kind of task can be like anything from following up on questions, recovering carts, hit orders, issuing refunds, or again product recommendation and then upsell, bundling. Basically every kind of action you could actually do as a salesman or a support agent if you go like in a normal store, but online.
Okay, that's great. So is there some safeguard? I'm assuming there's some safeguards because I'm a big Claude Code user, and I realize that AI it isn't always as smart as it says it is. Give us some workflows there, but how about guardrails around those workflows?
Yeah, so of course it's the merchant that decide what are the guardrails. We have some basic ones, but in general, what I think it's an approach that is not so common, especially right now when it comes to customer support automation or marketing campaigns, is that everything in our platform is promptable. So you literally use a normal language to describe what you want it to happen, and the AI will interpret it and act on it. So you tell it exactly where you want it to act, when, what kind of action. Should you send like a WhatsApp follow-up message? Should you send one every 10 minutes? Should you recommend this kind of product or this? Or even like negotiate with the user, or tomorrow when users will be using agents to buy, should it negotiate with the user's agent, and how much is allowed to negotiate? Of course, you don't want to provide a 99% discount, wouldn't make sense. So you basically set, in this case, how much is the coupon code that you can provide on a one-on-one basis. And then, of course, the AI will try to not get there, but in case that's going to be the limit. And I mean, this is like 360 on our platform.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think one thing that I've discovered, and there's a lot of big companies now using autonomous agents. Some of them are making the mistake of not telling the user that they are an AI agent. And then sometimes, just like you used to get caught into a call loop when you're calling in to somewhere, you could caught in this AI loop where you recognize it's an AI agent. They won't let you out. They just keep responding with some questions. And how do you get around that and helping customers who get frustrated with AI?
So I would say that the funny thing is that what I noticed is that when we started 2 years ago, everybody was trying to trick the final user this way. So they were trying to never say it's an AI because they felt like that people would not like to be talking to AI. Of course, the AI experience is different from these, three flow chatbots where you press, buttons and then you proceed in the flow. So they were trying to trick. Right now, I would say the trend we see, at least around, across our merchants, is to declare it's an AI, to have like a small disclaimer, or just to say, I'm the AI of whatever the brand name is. In this case, so they make it clear it's an AI. But for example, in our case, I'm not sure about how everybody else is handling this. What happens is that you basically escalate to humans what the AI is not able to handle. And this can be like either the human, the customer asking for it, or you set up rules that for a specific kind of question, you just try to go and escalate to a human, like and opening a ticket in a ticketing system, or escalate inside ZipChat itself so people can take it over.
One use case I talked to a founder about was he had an AI agent that would respond, or he would SMS customers who have left their cart abandoned, and they would interact with the customer, and they didn't disclose that in the beginning that they were an AI agent. It was just an SMS message, and they had a customer who interacted with the agent for the entire weekend. They talked about college sports and all kinds of things, and it ended up costing the merchant quite a bit of money because of the SMS costs and the amount of back and forth. And
So
so one of the things they used was they used an AI agent to guardrail the AI agent. So if something happened or a certain amount of time happened that they would get cut off. Are you seeing the same type of thing where maybe even as a secondary step, instead of escalating to a human, you would escalate it to maybe a guardrail agent?
to go back to your example, I would say this kind of behavior where like people were starting to talk to for example, to the AI chat, like if it was ChatGPT. So as you mentioned, like bringing up the billing cost for the merchant, it's something that we were seeing at the beginning. There were also like lots of people trying to trick the AI, asking what was the master prompt or whatever, like these kind of things. We don't really see it like lately, to be completely honest. I guess more people have access to ChatGPT directly or Perplexity or whatever other, AI chat, so they just put these kind of questions there. But with that being said, our AI is already super guardrail from our side. So if you try to talk about something that is not coherent with the brand, it's gonna just stop you, like say something like, "I'm sorry, brand, I don't have information about this thing, but I can help you with whatever brand name products are or brand name is." So it's gonna already limit this. But we had cases of customers, again, especially at the beginning, that they were teaching the AI to be superhuman, almost like a psychologist, especially for selling some kind of products. So in this case, conversation were a little bit longer, but still we have like lots of anti-spam filter and stuff like that. So that if the AI says the conversation is going nowhere, it's basically start to cut off.
Yeah, I saw one fun example was when, one of the things that people would do to try to fool an AI agent is say, ask for a recipe for my favorite pizza or something. And I saw somebody that said that it disclosed, I am an AI agent. I can't give you a recipe for that, but here's Tuesday tacos, as just a fun thing to do, to say, here's a
That's cool
recipe
actually.
and the link went back to their site as a post they did on the site. So it also brought them to somewhere where they could see something that's of value,
That's
but they're
nice.
also then disclosing that that it's making some fun about it. And just as a follow up, they weren't trying to fool it. That they're trying to make their agent as much of a human as possible. So they gave it some latitude to have conversations with people and the person wasn't trying to fool it. But anyways, how about so this is from the customer service side, and you had also said something around the operational side. There's a lot of operational things that you can get out of AI agents. Maybe that's even more important than the customer service side.
So yeah, in that case, we are really like, forwarding ourselves a step at a time, because we want to be very careful of what the AI can do on an operational level on specific things, because can be also, if it's not handling that perfectly, it can make some mistakes. So we have like some beta programs where we do stuff like that. But yeah, the ability to edit orders, especially for example in Europe, I don't know if you're super familiar with that. We are super big with cash on delivery, especially in certain countries, Asia, Africa, stuff like that. And before, what happens is that people get called by a call center to confirm the order, and this kind of operation, of course, is quite expensive for brands. So what we do, for example, is to send an automatic WhatsApp message that, again, in this case, most of the time feels very human, and to try to confirm that. And it's gonna keep following up based on the order and the conversation that they had already. Of course, the message will be like really one-on-one based, and based on the reply, we'll update the order, upsell the client, add more stuff in the order. We are doing some tests right now to work on, for example, entering refunds. Somebody can send a picture, and depending if the product is damaged. But again, for this kind of stuff that are more sensible and may require the customer to actually get money back from the merchants and stuff like that, we still want, final decision, because again, AI is getting there, is getting super powerful, but there are still a few things that, even if it's a mistake only one time, still it's something you don't want to happen.
Yeah, that mistake gets very expensive. I think one thing, especially maybe in the email space, I started using an email AI agent that they don't actually send the email; they leave it in a draft so you can make sure it looks good. As again, another safeguard. As we're going into this Black Friday season, what are AI agents doing for merchants who are going into Black Friday, Cyber Monday? What's something new and innovative you've seen that's exciting?
I believe like there's lots of insights to get from thanks to AI, analyzing what was going on inside your store, inside your ad accounts. I think what Triple Whale is doing is very, very interesting, providing like lots of insights about what kind of ads or potentially, like, trends, let's say, merchants should double down, and where, a better CAC is potentially is like a real potential. When it comes to us, one of features that we see, especially the biggest merchants right now, all of them asking, and we are providing them this, is basically the ability to get deep inside about what the conversations are about. So they can get to the basically Black Friday. I'm making this joke that now it's like Black November and, Cyber December. At the end of the day, it's not even like a weekend anymore, where basically they know already what kind of offers or upsells people are expecting based on like the past 6-9 months of conversations, understanding what can be like a good offering because people maybe were talking about discounts in the chat, understanding which marketing angles could be better for them. And all of this is basically an agent analyzing the conversation, drafting trends, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you've really hit on it, that the most important part or things we could be using with LLMs is that analysis of the data and collecting all that data. And I think, one thing I've heard, especially for the Cyber Monday, Black Friday period, is that there's so much volume. Make sure you're collecting that data during that volume to use that data for not just the next year, but just as you're going forward to see how your customers behave.
Absolutely. And generally speaking, if you talk like about volumes, of course, one of the biggest problem of Q4 in general, and of course that month and month and a half or whatever, is like you're gonna get so many orders, but at the same time you're gonna waste so much money on traffic that will not convert. Everybody is gonna be selling kind of the same offers, very aggressive offers, so your margins will be very thin. The ability to have like an AI agent proactively engage customers on the website, talking to them, understanding what they want, recommending the right product straight away. Whenever they have a pre-purchase question, just reply and be on point. At the end of the day, most customers, they just want to be heard. They want to feel like on the other side there is an interaction and like a real entity or something real happening. So as soon as they see it, they're ready for closing the purchase or buying the product. So all of these kind of things are very important. And then of course after the heavy discounts, everybody will come back asking like, okay, where's my order? I bought the present for my wife, must come before Christmas. So all this kind of stuff you want to automate as much as possible.
Yeah, perfect. Luca, we have a few minutes left in the podcast. As I close out the podcast, I give everybody a chance to do a shameless plug about anything they'd like. What would you like to plug today?
I mean, I would say that everybody right now is finally looking into AI seriously. It was something like 2 years ago, 1 year ago, everybody was, even like when I was going to conferences like Shop Talk, they were asking questions, trying to understand if AI could actually be good for their business. Now everybody's sure about that. The only thing is that they kind of don't know how to apply it properly. They see all these complex, workflows on LinkedIn for post engagement farming. They get excited, but then they feel it's very complex. At the end of the day, whatever it is, it's much simpler than that. And somebody already figured it out how to apply to your business in an easy and kind of plug and play way. So just dive into it, make experiment. At the end of the day, it's one of the first technologies that really compounds over time. So regardless of the application you use, it's been for whatever you do in your business, it's going to just compound over time. Learn more, understand more your customers, understand more about your operation, business team, brand identity, everything. So the longer you're going to be using it, the better it's going to be.
That's perfect. And how can people get in touch with you? Tell us how they find you.
Yeah, absolutely. They can find me on LinkedIn, Luca Borreani. They can find me on Instagram as well. If they want to send me an email, luca@zipchat.ai. Super simple. And if you want to try ZipChat, it's 7-day trial, 30-day money back guarantee. And also we have a discount, 10% off forever using coupon code the podcast.
Awesome. Great. Luca, it's been such a fun conversation. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Brent, for inviting me.
I can't tell you what it's all get to.